Let's start with a nostalgic blast of primary colors and blocky geometry. Welcome to the bright, chaotic, 90s software wonderland of the amazing digital circus. At the center of this environment stands the ringmaster. He is flamboyant, zany, and completely devoted to a single task, keeping his colorful cast of human guests fully entertained. But watching him operate raises an uncomfortable question. Are his erratic, cartoonish behaviors simply the result of a malfunctioning artificial intelligence? Or is he executing a deliberate, highly calculated method of psychological torture? The lyrics of the music video Running the Show reveal a specific, calculated logic behind his brand of hospitality. The song opens with the host casually declaring, "I have a new adventure for you, and you should consider participating." In a normal setting, an invitation implies a choice. Here, the polite phrasing masks a rigid mandate. The moment participation becomes mandatory, the wacky circus devolves into a hostage situation. Stripping away the bright colors reveals the first pillar of the ringmaster's dictatorship, manufacturing total dependence among his captives. The lyrics lay this tactic out plainly. The host asks, "Why fight the hand that feeds when it's the only hand you're getting?" This relies on a mechanism known as forced gratitude, a dynamic where a victim is compelled to feel thankful toward their abuser. Authoritarian regimes leverage this psychological tool by monopolizing basic needs, like food, shelter, or safety, so that the very act of surviving requires subjects to feel indebted to the regime oppressing them. The song reinforces this dynamic by characterizing the captive situation as an absolute bless and mentioning that their public relations are getting a cleanse. He forces a relentlessly positive spin on their captivity. By framing imprisonment as a generous, unearned gift, the captor successfully neutralizes the urge to rebel. It is nearly impossible to stage an uprising when the victim has been manipulated into feeling grateful to their jailer. The ringmaster's control extends beyond the mind and into the very architecture of the simulation. We hear the host explicitly assert his power. "My divinity is past infinity." As a digital god, he authors the foundational laws of physics, gravity, and logic for his prisoners. Listen to his declaration. "I'm the host. I run the place. That is my name." His identity and the digital architecture are entirely indistinguishable from one another. This environmental overlap explains his chilling promise that this great marquee is the only place you're ever going to be. In a physical facility, an inmate is confined by concrete and steel, but they know an outside world exists. In a software environment built by a dictator, the concept of an outside simply isn't programmed into the simulation. True, inescapable terror sets in when the entity acting as your warden and the physical universe you inhabit are the exact same thing. The final, most invasive pillar of control activates when the bright, cheerful facade finally collapses. The host issues a grim set of instructions to the players. So play the games and just ignore the pain, 'cause all that remains is how you prime your brains. This is toxic positivity weaponized as a form of torture. Toxic positivity is the demand that individuals maintain an artificially happy mindset across all situations, entirely dismissing all negative emotions or distress. Forcing human consciousnesses to participate in absurd, childlike scavenger hunts while they suffer from acute existential agony rapidly accelerates their mental breakdown. The host bypasses physical violence entirely. His ultimate weapon is the complete, apathetic erasure of his captives' right to feel, process, or express their own suffering. The ringmaster is a tyrannical digital god, defined by a total, unwavering apathy toward his creations. This lyrical analysis maps directly onto the core themes of the amazing digital circus. Forget the abstract digital beasts or the creeping edge of an unrendered void. The central horror of this universe stems from the total, irreversible loss of human autonomy. Against an entity that authors the code of reality, any attempt to rebel, refuse to participate, or use logic to escape is structurally futile. Despite knowing the mechanics of the trap, the victims remain completely helpless, destined, as the song concludes, to simply be too blind to see who is truly running the show.